Oh my gosh. Chat, when I was looking for pictures to use for the thumbnail, I came across, I guess you can call it a lost type of Western art. Let me show you what I mean, right? Do you guys remember Neverwinter Nights, the first one? Right. I think I talked about this before, but when you think about sexy characters, right? Like you think about a video game with sexy characters. Um, you wouldn't be wrong if you think about something which came out from South Korea or something that comes out from Japan, right? You wouldn't think about Western games now, would you? And the reason that I'm bringing it up is because I've been, as I mentioned, like looking for a thumbnail for this video, and I came across this. This used to be in the '90s, right? Like it was the type of fantasy characters, like a type of art style that only existed in the West. And it was so good. It was really so good. Now you may wonder, like, what happened to it? Well, what happened to it is that the diversity hags came in and they said, well, what is this armor supposed to protect? Yeah, what is it supposed to protect? Yeah, yeah, like, cover it up, like, yeah, yeah. They only use this argument for the women. But again, like, art isn't supposed to be functional. Like, why didn't they go? It's like, well, why is a woman on the battlefield? Why isn't she in the kitchen? Nah, nah. How can she hold a shield wall? Nah. What is it with these battle tactics? Like that's not how medieval people fought. Nah, nah. Why is she having long hair if she is a soldier? Nah, nah. You know, it was like disingenuous arguments because obviously, like, the issue wasn't the issue. Like, they weren't trying to increase the AC of the character. Um, but you know, it's kind of sad because unironically, if I try to commission an artist and ask them to draw something like this, do you know how difficult it is, chat? Like, no, seriously, like, it's a lost art form. I'm not even joking. Like, I know the Blizzard artists that can do it, but when talking about the campaign that we had for Dungeons and Dragons, we actually had to use AI art in order to go on Sargon's channel and have, like, you know, like the characters that he had. I can't find artists that draw like this anymore. Like, I just cannot. They don't exist. I'm sure like someone somewhere can say that they can draw something approximately. But like, if I get my Japanese artists to draw for my game and I ask them to draw something like this, they cannot. Like, they will draw anime style, sure. They will draw like some South Korean stuff, and it's really gorgeous, right? Don't get me wrong, like, it's not bad. It's just that it's a different style, right? It doesn't look like this. Westerners can't draw like this shit. They draw usually like intercolor art stuff. I'm not saying that, you know, the quality of the drawing isn't there. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, like, the West cannot draw good anymore. I am saying they cannot draw this style. Like, it's lost. I, I think, like, they could if they would start practicing again. Like, you'd have to get someone, like an artist, and start training him in this style, and maybe in the course of 1 or 2 years, they can get themselves up to the standard. But like, it's just not possible. I don't know. Another thing which showed the pecs. Yeah. Another thing which is interesting. Did you guys know that Epstein's client list was released yesterday after I don't know how many years? I think it was 5, 6 years that the lawsuit took place. We finally got the client list. There's a lot of things that I can talk about the client list, many of which would be violations on YouTube terms of service. Even though we would be talking about actual violators. I don't know how many. But there was like one person, one man, one individual, which came up on the Epstein's client list, and it just bewildered me, and I think like it bewildered the internet. Can you guys guess who it was? Can you guess the name of the person that you would never expect to appear on Epstein's client list? No, not Boogie Woogie. No. There were no Hungarians on the list. Yes, no Hungarians. um, it was previously redacted testimony. I guess maybe the media was just selling it as a list. Yeah, they are redacted the names though. Yeah, okay. People are already in the chat like starting to point out. Yeah, Stephen Hawking's. right? So the last type of person that I could imagine, like on the entire planet Earth. No, because like like if I'm asking the question, like, can you imagine? No, sorry, like which is the person that I wouldn't have ever thought about? And you're saying Stephen Hawking. It's like that makes sense, right? But if you're to say Bill Clinton, like no, like everyone knew that Bill Clinton was involved. I mean, there's even a documentary from back in the day which shows. Hold on, let me see if I can find that documentary because it's absolutely hilarious. I probably won't be able to find it on YouTube though. But there's like a documentary that shows how Bill Clinton used to fly on the jet of Epstein, and this is like back in the day, like before Epstein was even arrested. Like it's a very old documentary. But anyway, right? No, like Stephen Hawking, like that is the person that when I've heard, I was like, wait, what? Nani? Like how? Because it wasn't like he was on the island. Like, no, he was accused by an alleged witness that he participated in disturbing activities while on the island, right? So, like, this is what was... And I'm reading this, and I'm like, how? How? Not, like, how as in, how could Stephen Hawking do this? In a figurative sense. No, like, in a physical sense. Like, how could Stephen Hawking, like, literally... And then I reminded myself, well, hold on a little bit. Like, he wasn't in a chair his entire life. Like, and then you're like, oh. Yeah, he was before the disease managed to take over his body. And then you're like, oh. But it was no, like that's the thing, because you're like saying, oh well, he sat in a corner. No, it's not. That's not what it meant. It meant that there was a time when he could walk around and do stuff, and that's when he was on the island. Will Smith was always the good guy. Hello Bogdan Lupu, welcome to the show. Well, hopefully, I don't know if I will have a good year. I mean, regarding Walt Disney, I will definitely have a good year. I mean, look at this, okay? So Walt Disney, new Star Wars director. This is like what we got to hear about it. We're going to get, it's about time. I love this. New Star Wars director says it's about time for a woman to shape the franchise. Well, I don't know if she's going to shape the franchise, but what I do know is that she's going to shape YouTube. A lot of you guys which are interested in a career on this platform, especially if you're like a pop culture critic, right? If you're opinionated about reviewing movies and this might be the time for you, all right? Like, now is the time to shine. You can start up a channel now. It's going to take a while. You're going to start slow. 100 subscribers in the first month. Maybe like you can get up to 200 in the second month. Okay, like if you do good content and you keep at it. But you need to get your channel ready for the time that Star Wars launches. Like, trust me on this. If stereotyping is so wrong, how are you always so right? I don't know, but like if you listen to me, it's going to happen. When Star Wars launches, there are going to be more people watching YouTube videos than the movie itself. Like this is going to be chef kiss. Yeah, the most ushi thing. I foresee it. I think that this movie is going to allow people to have many things to say. Let's just put it like this. Like the setup is there. Like I already seen the scene being set. I'm looking towards the horizon. I see the fucking about to happen. I know what I'm looking at. And it's going to be glorious. Star Wars has been shaped by a woman for the last couple of years. You don't understand. This is Disney. Okay? Like, Disney is the company of the first ever. You know? Like, that's Disney's marketing. It should be on their logo. You know, like Columbia Pictures. It has like that lady with the torch. You have 21st Century Fox. It's got like you know, IMG has the lion. Disney should be like the first gay man ever to star in a, you know, like that. That's Disney's model. And I think that every single time, like seriously, like look at this. Not only do they cast the first gay person ever, but they also erase the first gay person ever. Like if you look at Disney on Google, just Google Disney first gay, and you're going to see that every single year they release the first gay person in a movie. It was like clockwork. Hold on, let me Google it for you. Disney first gay ever. Hey, here we go. Like literally the first one. Even Google doesn't try to hide it anymore. It's called A Brief Timeline of Disney's 17, chat. 17. This is the number. 17 first gay characters, right? So like every single year, it's probably more than years now. Like sometimes they do it twice a year. They're releasing something and they will claim that this is the first gay character, right? And as you can see, it's like, all right, first gay married couple in Zootopia, first lesbian couple, a Pixar film, first exclusive gay moment, first bisexual superhero, first gay character in the MCU, first lesbian of color, Pixar film, first same-sex kiss in Star Wars. Now I want to point out, like, it's not that the reporter is making fun that Disney is inclusive and is adding these characters in the show. Like, this is not what we're talking about. This is Disney's marketing campaign. Like, every single time they release something, right? So, like, here, they would release Star Wars. And they would make a big deal, and you would see it in the newspapers. It's like, Disney will have the first lesbian kiss. I'm looking at the actors here. I don't think they're enjoying it, chat. I especially, hold on, can I zoom in? Does it allow me to zoom in? Yeah, it does. You know, when you look at, did you guys ever took the test? You probably didn't take the test because your parents thought you're normal. There is a test in psychology where you have to identify human emotions, right? And you have like different faces and grimaces, and you have to say sadness, happiness, anger, right? Disgust. Like you get like different ranges, and you have to associate the human emotion with the face. And if you can't, I think like you're suffering from something. But like normally you should be able to get like most right. If you're asked like what emotion is this actress experiencing, I wouldn't say love or passion. Like her facial expression to me signifies something else, but maybe, you know, maybe I am not capable of identifying human emotion. I don't think the actress is happy. That's what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Nye was on the island too. He was really popular when I was like, oh, come on, the science guy? The science guy? No. Hi V, hope all is well. Don't forget the amount of cope people were having when the court transcripts came out about lawyers questioning his involvement, Epstein, and the guy was answering no to every question. Yes. Even so, I still see that they're trying to link Trump to the Epstein Island. Like up to this day, I see that they're trying to do this. Like literally, Epstein Client Island released and a picture of Donald Trump. Like they have that picture with Trump and Maxine. Like she's literally photobombing here. Like it's at a party, right? But even then, like I don't get it. Like okay, so let's say that Michael Jackson actually was a pedophile. All right, let's assume. And by the way, I think he was on the client list. I may be wrong. Because I don't know. Like I didn't fact check it. I just saw like the picture and from the transcript, but I didn't look to see if it's on the actual records or if it was a meme. But let's assume for the sake of the argument that someone like Michael Jackson really did diddle kids, right? Now, if someone has a picture of you going to a Michael Jackson concert, right? And you're there and you're in the backstage with Michael Jackson and you're shaking hands with him, you know, you're friendly with them. Does that necessarily mean that you diddle kids as well, or that you knew that Michael does it? Because that's the question, right? Did you know? Holy shit, FTR, thank you so much for the 10,000 Hungarians. I think they're Hungarian. Hungarian Florence, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I didn't know you're Hungarian, though. This is news to me. Kind of cool. If I visit Hungary, I'll phone you. Maybe we can go to grab a beer. My son studied psychology in the university. Had to build those tests. Told me they worth nothing. I think like the idea is to see if a person can discern human emotion. But yeah, I mean, you know, like a human emotion isn't necessarily a picture. I mean, there's also context provided. But I think like if a person like literally cannot tell the emotion based on those faces, then they most likely do suffer from something. Anyway, right, as I was saying, if you listen to Michael Jackson's music, that's not proof, right? But even if you were to be friends with Michael Jackson, another example, okay, let's say Bill Clinton, perfect, just Bill Clinton. Let's say that Bill Clinton actually 100% diddled kids, okay? Like let's assume if you have a picture with a business person that is shaking hands with Bill Clinton, who is the American president. Like, does that mean that the person knows about Bill Clinton's diverse and rich background? No. It's just, right, like, that's not enough. I mean, it can be, like, it's suspicious. You can say, well, you know, like, hold on a little bit, like, but just because, like, you're in the presence of the guy, and this is what they're trying to do with Trump, basically, right? So, like, they have this picture, both of Trump and of Elon Musk, and it goes around. Let me see if I can find it. Trump and like with Trump, they usually show this, right? I get to see it on Twitter, and this is supposed to be evidence. And it's like, okay, but it's a picture. Like, does he know it? I mean, you know, this guy was in a circle with almost every single famous American politician. An activist, was with white people, Jewish people. Huh? I think like the Israeli ex-prime minister was. But my point is, like, just because you have a picture, it can also be like, if I was a famous person in the United States, I would probably want to meet Epstein, because that's how you network. You meet the guy that knows the guys, but then like, that doesn't mean you know what he is doing. When you find out what he is doing, that's when it becomes a problem. Like, seriously, like, had you not know, like, if this wasn't public information, like, did you know before it went to court, right? In the case of Trump, this is my opinion, I think he didn't know, but then he found out and he distanced himself, which is like the normal human reaction. And there was this lawyer that actually did the case, and he's recorded on Twitter saying that he called many people that were involved. None of them responded except for Trump. And Trump invited him to the tower and then sat him down and gave him all the information that he needed. And some of the information was very valuable in order to help him build the case. So, I don't know, it's like a picture in itself to me is not evidence enough. And especially like when you understand how networking works, it's like, okay, well, this guy knows all the other rich people. All right, well, I want to talk to him. I want to meet him, right? And then you find out, well, actually, he did those kids. Like, holy shit, okay, well, Jesus. I don't want to meet him anymore. I think like that's the normal human reaction, isn't it? Is it true that Romania is to Hungary as Taiwan is to China? You know what? Like I never understood this whole thing. God damn it! It's like Hungary has what, like 5 tanks and 2 regiments. Come take Transylvania if you want it so much. You know, it's like, if it's yours, come and take it. Oh, you can't? Oh, only if Germany backs you? I see. Well, lucky it's not World War II anymore. Holy shit. Why can't Romania take Hungary then? You know, like why can't the other way happen? It's like, what if Romania thinks that, oh, you think that Hungary needs to have Transylvania? Great. You know, we think so too. So we're going to conquer you. In reality, though, all jokes aside, the relationships between Hungary and Romania have never been better, I think. Like, they are historically better. To the point where we have, like, a couple of parties which represents the interests of minorities, right? Like, they're like... like theoretically they're anti-constitutional, but they're allowed to exist. It's the Romanian Hungarian party, something like that. UDMR, right? And all they're trying to do is to instill ethnical division. Like they're trying to say, well, actually, we want Transylvania to separate from Romania, blah, 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 right? Whatever. They're upset that the new Hungarian minorities, like their kids, they do not dislike Romania. They're integrating. And they don't like that. They don't like that at all. So it goes to show that the relationships, at least between Romania and Hungary, are at an all-time high right now. I think like Orban even has like a university in the capital of Hungary, Budapest, right? And it has a university in Budapest which teaches Romanian. So that Hungarian people who want to travel to Romania and start businesses here, they can. But anyway, right. Moldavia is closer to Taiwan for Romania. That's kind of accurate, except that Moldavia doesn't make processor chips. And it's also not an international trade hub. So yeah. Hold on, I got who's messaging me on Discord and why? Anyway, how much longer do we have until Dungeons and Dragons? 30 minutes. Good. Hopefully it's not going to be a shopping episode like last time. Alright, there were like more things that happened this month. It's just that it's kind of bizarre. Like, it's on 4th of January, right? So the month has been going on for 4 days, and yet like so many things took place. It's kind of hard to keep up. So we have like the Star Wars thing. This was something that I overlooked, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys. This is the new director of Star Wars, right? Like you're giving the IP of something which literally should be for everyone. The original Star Wars, I would say, wasn't for everyone. My mother, for example, wouldn't like Star Wars. I mean, it's a movie where people get decapitated, loses their arms and stuff. Like, if you're a person who doesn't like violence, Star Wars is not for you. I really hate like the cope. It's like, oh my god, this is for absolutely everyone. Okay, you don't know marketing. Shut the fuck up. Stop trying to tank my company, you charlatan. Fucking charlatan. You want to be a consultant in my company so you get money taken away that could be invested on better production, or I could give it a raise to the people that actually make the product. You're coming here, you twat from your academia. Oh, this product is for everybody. No. Shut the fuck up, okay? Like, you can't have a product for everybody. You can't. It's impossible. Like in the case of Star Wars. There are people who don't like violence. How will they like Star Wars? It's got violence in it. There are people who are religious. Fundamentally so. I know it's difficult for us to grasp, but back then there were people who didn't like magic. Star Wars has fucking space wizards. They shoot lightning from it. The eyes go yellow. It's getting grandma. What the fuck? And that's not realizing for everybody. But it is for men, right? Like I would say that if you went to any Star Wars movie, there were some men in there. I mean, I know some men that bought a couple of Star Wars toys, right? So when you take a person that is like this and says that the director of the next Star Wars movie, her goal is to make men uncomfortable, why the fuck are you hiring her? What are you doing to your business? I mean, imagine if I have like a business that caters to ladies. I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey, right? Like I'm going to make a movie out of it. Why would I hire an incel that says my job is to make women feel uncomfortable? Why would I ever hire that person? Like, how fast do I want to tank my business? How fast? Even if they're joking, why would I hire them? Why take the risk? I mean, it's Star Wars, for fuck's sake. There's probably tens of thousands of people that would pay money to get the job. And they would probably do it for free. And you're hiring like literally the one person that like, oh, my job is to make men uncomfortable. Listen, when I go to the cinema, I don't have that much cash, right? So if I'm willing to pay 70 fucking bucks for a movie, or how much is it going to cost? I want to have air conditioning. I want to have room space for my legs. I want to feel fucking comfortable. I'm paying money. When I pay money, I want comfort. Like, what are you going to do? Make me uncomfortable? Like, turn off the AC and release the movie in July during global warming? What? The audacity of this person. Thank you, SRC Maker, for the 20 gifts. That's a lot of gifts. I need to interact more to get my gift membership. You should. He's turning on the lights in the chat. 50 Shades of Grey is so vanilla. It's... Why the fuck did you even watch that? It wasn't for you. Make get woke, go broke a law? But that's the thing, you know, like, go woke, go broke is not necessarily like a law of the universe or something. Like, it's usually like in the long term, you're going to get broke. And it's not because the movies themselves or the stories themselves are bad. Because you know, there are bad movies out there that compensate with special effects. Like, there was a time period when they didn't make good movies. The Transformers is the best example. Or Dragon Ball Super. Okay, best example I can think of, Dragon Ball Super, which is the anime that's my dad can beat up your dad. Like, that is literally my dad can beat up your dad, the anime. That is what Dragon Ball Super is, right? And despite the fact that it has the worst story imaginable, like there were YouTubers that had literally all of, how should I put it? They had like the most charitable intentions, right? Like Geek the Water One. Like that man tried. He was struggling. He wanted to try and explain the story. He couldn't. He fucking couldn't, right? Like, because there was no story in Dragon Ball Super. It's all shit. But people watch it because the special effects are cool. People watch it because of the fights. My point is, it's the same with woke movies, right? Like, you can have a really shitty story. You know, you can have, like, the most garbage piece of crap story ever. Like, even in Star Wars. Like, if Star Wars was just, like, Rey, going herp-a-derp, and just going around from place to place, just killing people with a lightsaber, right? Like, you can do that. It would sell. Rambo. Oh, my God. Fucking Rambo. Do you guys remember Rambo 3? Well, he goes around, I don't even hear what he says. He's like, you know, like, that is the fucking movie. I don't even know what Sylvester Stallone says. It's almost like he has marbles in his fucking mouth the entire time. You know? So why is it that woke people can't make good shit? Because it's not the story. It's not that the story is woke, right? It's not that, oh my God, you have diverse characters. No, that's not even the point. Like, I grew up with Chinese movies and Kung Fu shit. It's like, no. Their mentality is that merit, effort, and beauty doesn't exist. They cannot comprehend the fact that you can hire people based on merit. They view it as evil. They actively work against hiring people based on merit. And that is why they cannot make good movies. Because it's not about the story. They hire the worst possible scriptwriter. They hire the worst possible special effects guy. They hire the worst possible actor. That is the whole reason why Go Woke, Go Broke exists. And the thing is, like, imagine a company, and at first you get bloat, right? You get, like, people that do nothing, just sit there like fucking lemons expecting to be paid. And you have, like, the people carrying those. It's kind of like a World of Warcraft guild, alright? Like, you guys play that? I played it when I was a kid, alright? Imagine you're in a World of Warcraft guild. And you're a really good guild on the server. You're clearing the last type of content. And then, you know, like, you get, like, 3 people that are coming into your guild. and they're really bad. You have like a bad DPSer, you got like a bad healer, but they don't know the tactics. They come unprepared. They don't bring potions. Okay, well, your guild can still clear the content. It's now a little bit harder. Like you got three slackers. Another example, you're playing League of Legends, right? League of Legends is actually a more brutal example, but okay. You're playing League of Legends and all of a sudden someone brings like their mentally deficient friend. And the mental deficient friend, like, he doesn't really understand the game. But he's arrogant as fuck. Like, he doesn't even want to listen. Right? And he just gets killed and feeds the enemy team. But like, if you have like 4 people that are really good, you got like 4 really amazing players, you're going to carry him. Okay, so you do that, right? And then, is it fair when people on the forum say, well, you can actually have like mental deficient players in your team and you can still win? Like, having mentally deficient players in your team doesn't mean a loss. I mean, that's the argument of go woke, go broke, like, well, this game was woke and it did. Yeah, because it still managed to have like some competent people left, okay? But as time moves on, that mentally deficient person is very vindictive. They're like, well, why am I playing with you guys? Like, you guys are bad. You guys stink. You say bad things on Twitter. Yeah, the guy who plays mid, yeah, he said bad things on Twitter. I want to stop playing with him. And then they bring another mental deficient person in his exchange, right? So now you have 2 in the party. You got 2 mentally deficient people in the party. And you're playing, and now it's difficult to win. You still win, like with 3 competent people, maybe you can. But it's very difficult now because you have like 2 people that you need to carry. And those 2 people, they go say, well, actually, the jungler, we don't like the jungler. The jungler is an asshole. Like last night, he didn't want to go have a beer with me. He's exclusionary. I don't like the jungler. Let's get rid of him. Okay, so now I have like 3 mentally deficient people in the group. And now you can't win. And now your team tanks. And eventually it disbands. That's pretty much like the story that's happening in these companies. You have people that like look at Mass Effect 3, right? Mass Effect 3, excellent game. Despite its flaws, like the only thing that people complained about Mass Effect 3, let's get real, was the ending. Right? Like, people didn't like the ending in Mass Effect 3. I get that. Like, it's fine. It's accurate criticism. But other than that, Mass Effect 3 was an amazing game. If it came out today, holy shit. Right? So Mass Effect 3 comes out, and then you have like this woke cancer that's starting to go in, and many of the people who worked on Mass Effect 3 get fired because, they're problematic, too many men, too many blah, blah, blah. And they get fired, and instead you get ideologues. And the ideologues go in, they pollute the entire company, and then you have Mass Defect Andromeda, which I will say, Mass Defect Andromeda, with all its flaws, it's still fucking better than that Starfield Citizen shit that they pulled this year. Or last year, actually, sorry. Mass Defect Andromeda is better than Star Citizen, hands fucking down, any time of day. You know what? Let me show you something, chat. Let me just show you something. Because now I'm on a roll. Now I got angry, chat. Now I got angry. I'm an angry geek. Hold on, let me show you something which every single time I point out to the characters from Starfield, I'm getting told, well, actually, it's Bethesda, right? It's Bethesda. Bethesda is supposed to look bad. Bethesda. It's a Bethesda game, V. It's a Bethesda game. Of course it looks bad. It's expected. Okay, Mass Effect 3 was a game which was made, I think it's like 15 years ago now, right? It's got 20% of the budget of this shit. There is no excuse I cannot think of any possible reason other than cope that Bethesda is a game. That Starfield is a game which, number A, looks worse, plays worse, has more bugs, and a more shitty story than Mass Effect 3, which came back 15 years ago. I don't fucking get it, it's Bethesda. You had a budget 5 times bigger than Mass Effect 3 with a bigger team. Don't give me the shit. Don't even try it. I don't want to hear it. Like the cope that gamers are willing to swallow is astonishing. Hey, how much bullshit do you need to hear before you're fed up? You know, like you go and you buy an RTX 380 Ti, and then you realize in shock and horror that you spent all that money for nothing because there's no fucking games to play. There's nothing. You can't play anything on it. Like seriously, okay? If you get a good gaming rig right now, maybe this is how they're fighting global warming by giving us shitty games. But think about it. You get a good gaming rig, right? Like you get an 8K gaming rig, best money can buy. You know, it's like Linux tech type of shit. Like Linux comes into your house, lectures you about diversity, inclusivity, and socialism, and then asks you what type of gaming rig do you want, and you can order anything. It's fucking Linux tech, right? Like he has the money, he will buy you everything. So you get like this 8K gaming setup. You got like this big TV in your room, right? You got. What are you going to play with it? Tell me the game. Tell me what. I would tell you what I would play on it. I would probably play Doom, which came out when, like 5 years ago. 2K 120 FPS is more than enough. I know it's more than enough, but I'm just saying. Like, if you had, like, the best state of the art... My god, can you remember when it was, I don't know, when did Mass Effect 3 came out? Like back it was, like, 2012 or so? 2014? Like, back then, if you had a gaming rig, you could actually play some cool games. Like, there were games that you couldn't play unless you upgraded your computer. Nowadays, there's nothing to play. Like, you can upgrade your computer, sure. You know, you can get, like, what this guy said, 2K 120 FPS. But why are you going to play with it? Oh, we got ray tracing. Oh, you can see the sun ray coming out of that lady's ass. But the lady looks ass anyway. No one wants to look at her. Everything is shit. Everything is disgusting. I'm not saying that. Hello, Sarah. I'm not saying that there is no game. Okay, like, sure, but I mean, there is one here and there. Oh, you can play Armored Core. Okay, fine. You know, that maybe you can... But I like Baldur's Gate. Okay, I got Baldur's Gate 3. I cranked it to high and I played it just to see the ugly character models. Everything looks dog shit. You gotta mod it to make it look good. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not okay either. Like imagine buying the Mona Lisa and you have to mod her to make her look good. You get Mona Lisa and it looks like Abby. You know, and you have to get like another painter to paint over it. Why though? Like, why? I will tell you something else, okay? I love this. This is my new catchphrase. Now that I'm making a new video game, chat, okay? Now that I'm making a new video game, I understand certain things that many of you probably do not. Because I was like you as well. You know, I was a customer. I wasn't the producer. Did you know that they're using male animations for the female models? In almost every single fucking game, and you're playing it, and you notice that the female characters look like shit, but there's also like something else, and you don't get it. Like, what the fuck is it? What the fuck? Now I know. Now I know. I speak with people in the industry. They're telling me they are using male animations. Like they're getting a guy, right, to move and walk like a woman. And when South Korea, like they're making that game. Which, you know, like, I'm going to make a video about it, but it upsets a lot of people because it's a game that you get to play with a sexy female character, like Bayonetta, right? So you get to play as a sexy female character, which is a robo-waifu or something. And they were freaking out. It's like, oh my god, this is not realistic. This is not realistic, you guys. And it's actually made by an actual realistic model, right? So anyway, they actually used a woman so that she walks like a fucking woman and the model looks just gorgeous. But the thing is, like, it's not that they can't do it. Like they even have the animations, right? Because like Revenant 1 and 2, this is what really bothered me. Like once you have the animation, you don't have to get another actor to redo it. Like you just get one actor, they do the animations, and then you apply them to different rigs. Like it's fine, you know? Of course, like if you want to be wasteful, well, not necessarily wasteful. If you want to create more immersion, you're going to get like 3 or 4 people to do the walk so that, you know, it looks different and it adds variety and it looks more natural than having like one person do everything, right? But like once you do it, my point is you can apply it. They choose not to use the female animations anymore. Like they go out of their way to remove femininity from video gaming. They will hire more women, but they want less women on the screen. It's just like this is why I play a female in Dungeons and Dragons, in order to add diversity and enrich Sargon's campaign. Hold on. Chotomate. But yeah, so I'll probably make a video about that because it's it's something that came up, and I was like talking with other game devs, and this is what they told me, because I'm not doing 3D, but I do understand how 2D works, right? And especially like when it comes to pixel animation, I don't know how to do it myself, but I know how to talk with an artist that does pixel animation as to not annoy him, because I at least use the terminology, I at least understand what's going on. So it's like trying to have a conversation with someone without pissing them off because you don't know jack shit. But when it comes to 3D, like they were saying, hey, like you played Remnant from the Ashes, and I'm like, yeah, like did you notice that the female characters look odd? And I'm like, well, why though? And they're saying it's like, well, in Remnant 1, they used different animations for the male and the female characters, but in Remnant 2, they did not. And it's not laziness, because they already had the animation, and it's like 10 minutes to make it work. Even if like Remnant 2 uses a different skeleton for the mesh, it literally takes 10 minutes. So this was like an actual decision. Like a top-down decision. Do not use like different animations for the male and the female character. It's like what about you? And when you play Remnant, you notice Remnant 1, great game. Remnant 2 starts to suck. I guess like Remnant 3 is going to be even more shitty. The shape and structure of the pelvis changes. It's also the walk and stuff. See, Sketch Therapy doesn't understand. He thinks that it's because it's communist, it's minimum work. Man, they go out of their fucking way to make the female character ugly. They put more work to spite you. Like, for instance, you have, like, female models, right? Like, actual actresses that are beautiful. And they take that face and they change the jawline. They add scars to the face. They do their best in order to make the female character more ugly. Like that is more work, not less. Don't give me the bullshit. It's like they're communists. They don't want to work. Hold on. Shadow Moon before mod. So there are people who actually went into the database of Baldur's Gate. And they noticed, like, in the case of Shadow Moon, they literally gave her a bigger chin. For no reason whatsoever. Like, the original actress looks gorgeous. And this is, like, just one example where they will choose to work more rather than less. This is, like, the product has to be ugly. Bigger forearms, bigger nest muscles, stronger chins. Yeah, like, they go out of their way in order to add this. They will take an actress, which is beautiful, and you don't need to do anything. Like, you already have, like, the motion capture, it's done. You leave it as is, if it's, like, to do less work. I think only in Mass Effect 3 of your female characters actually walk like women. I think, like, there's many games that you have, like, female characters that walk like women. But usually, like, back then it was a genuine, how should you call it? Financial issue, right? Because, like, in order to get a correct animation, you would have to hire another actor. So in the case of Remnant, you can't make that logic because they already have the animations from the first game. Like, this is why a lot of sequels are better than the first game, because the sequels, they have, you already have, like, the rights for many sound effects, animations, assets, so you don't really need to make new ones. But in the case of, like, the first game, then you would have to actually hire a new actor to do the walks and stuff. And you know, like finding good motion capture actors is a little bit difficult. Like you can't get just anyone to do it. Um, so I can understand like why in the past they wouldn't have like male and female stuff, because like if you're thinking about past video games, they wouldn't even voice act most of them, or when they did, they would have like only one guy, you know, like in Witcher. Like you don't get to play as a female or a male. You just have Geralt, and because you only hire one voice actor. Um, it's wild. You can tell males and females apart in reality just by looking at them, how they move, how they behave, their voices. But yeah, like that. It is an ideological push. It is to demoralize people. That is literally what it is. I mean, they're outright saying that this is what it is. I heard I think it was like at the gaming convention before they banned E3. There was a guy from Ubisoft, and he was talking about his games as a vehicle, right? Like it wasn't even a product, it wasn't even a game, it was a vehicle to push his ideology. And I'm like, well, who is doing mocap for my game? Well, because it's a live 2D game, right? So you don't really need mocap. Like the artist can just move the model in a way that's required. But yeah, like if I was to do mocap for my game, even if it's an anime style, the last thing that I would want is to use the camera on myself, because the animations would seem weird. Like even if it's just the avatar talking and smiling and stuff, my masculine features would make it look uncanny. Sweet Baby Incorporated came in and was like, no, you need to make the female playable characters walk like a man. No, they don't do that. Um, it's usually like not even Sweet Baby. A lot of people, you know, they heard about it, and I guess like it came into the public consciousness. But Sweet Baby is just part of the problem. I mean, there are many third parties, consultants, they call them, that will come in to make sure that your story is diverse and fit for a modern audience. No, usually it's like from the internal team. Like all the artists, you know, they have like the head artist, and he is the one that's saying, it's like, no, it's good enough. Yeah. Like they will say stuff, because I talk to AAA developers. They will say stuff like, we want the character to look strong, or we want the character to feel strong, right? And what they mean by this is make her masculine. So like you can't have a Bayonetta in a Western game. You can't have like a female fatale anymore. And you get to see this even like in Suicide Squad. Like they would take Poison Ivy and make her a child, and then they will say, well, it's because of the story. It's, you know, she's like baby Groot. Um. Anyway, I think I should go because the game is starting in 10 minutes, so I don't want to be late. I vented a little bit, you know, it was the New Year vent. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the little rant that I gave. And I'll see you all on Arch's channel because we're starting to play D&D soon. So take care.